This week, we're going to be talking about all the Tier 1 contribution nodes. We're going to be playing Joy Snake. We're going to be going over the IOST price. All kinds of good stuff coming right at you next.
The cast and guests of Inside IOST do not intend to convey investment or financial advice. Please do your own research before choosing to buy or sell any digital assets or cryptocurrencies. What is going on, Inside IOST fans and family? It is that time of the week, another episode of the first and the best podcast and YouTube show to find all your information on the IOST ecosystem. This is Inside IOST, and we are sponsored by Liobi, which is a Tier 1 node. We're going to dive into that and a lot more on this week's episode. I'm joined today, once again, by my partners from Liobi Node, Peter K., Josh Bryan. How's it going, fellas?
Going great. We need a name for our followers, our loyal watchers, like
Insiders.
The
I like
IOST
that.
Insiders.
I like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, so now next week I'll say, welcome back, Insiders.
Yes.
Something like that. That's pretty cool.
I like it.
So we got a bunch of stuff to cover today for the Insiders. Number one being that we are number one as far as tiers go. Numero uno. Huge news. We've been waiting for this for quite a while. The rewards period, the contribution period was cut short. So it was
22 days. It was 22 days for this one. A typical quarter is going to be 91 days. So the rewards you get when the distribution is automatically sent out, it may have been auto-sent out by the time we publish this, will be a fraction of the quarterly rewards you can expect in the future. Plus, we think they're going to be prorated. So if you only voted for like 2 days, then you only get a very small amount comparatively of the 22 days, So hold on to your votes for a whole quarter if you want those full quarterly rewards, and it'll be 91 days worth of rewards instead of just 22.
Great point, yeah. I mean, this payout's roughly a little less than a third of what your payout's going to be next quarter.
Well, that's assuming you voted for whatever node you voted for the whole 22 days.
That's right.
And that's back in March, which probably most people haven't. So yeah, bear that in mind as you get your rewards, but I still hope they're appreciable.
And just a couple more details. We are going to run through the list of Tier 1 nodes on today's episode, talk about which nodes contributed what, whether it was in community building, whether it was in content creation, dApps integrations, all that. But just a few more details on what's going on here, because we saw a lot of questions in our community, in our Telegram, and in the international Telegram. The first note is that nodes must actually be elected to get the contribution reward. So if you don't have that 2.1 million threshold of IOST for your node, voted to your node, and you're actually elected, it'll show on iost.bis.com, then you wouldn't be eligible to get the contribution reward. So if you're out there and you voted for some node that's just on the borderline and they haven't made it, and you don't see them on this tier list, then that's the explanation why. The other note is that the payouts, which should come within the next 24 hours. So if you're watching this show, today's April 23rd. They're supposed to come out April 24th. It's already the 24th over in Asia. The payouts are going to be automatically credited to the node wallets and to the voters. Is that what we think so far, Pete?
I think they're going to be automatically credited to the voters, yeah. It's got to be done in a different way from the claim reward system we've seen, yeah.
Okay, so keep your eye out for that, and we're hoping that everybody gets a nice little payday here. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see our voters, once they get that reward, to actually share some screenshots in our Telegram. Let us see, that you've actually been rewarded. And as Josh, as you said, next quarter we're going to see that number, hopefully 4x the amount that you get from this quarter here, because it was that abbreviated period. So without further ado, let's throw up this graphic right here on the screen. These are the Tier 1 candidates. Pete, do you want to lead us off with who's in the Tier 1?
Yeah, the first candidate listed is this node called Liobi. That's the first one, content creation promotion. Surprise, surprise. We were pleasantly surprised as well to see ourselves listed right up at the top there. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure we stay there. I think we should move on to the next one because everybody knows what Liobi does already.
It was pretty cool, though, I got to say, to be the very first one. Like, I was waiting, how many days we were waiting for this report to come out. Saw the report, scrolled down to find the graphic, and then right there, the very first one listed. So big shout out to IOST Foundation for keeping us in their hearts and mind, first place.
And a reminder for all these nodes, not just for us, our category, it says their primary submission category, because we can do things in other categories and it just boosts our application there. So we've been working on some ideas with events and dApps, and we've done some community building, even like fake Reddit things. And and so that all bolstered our application. And it's the same with a lot of these nodes.
Yeah, the rewards calculator we had in there, which is not content creation, but it helped bolster our application. So we have this primary category, which is content creation, but we're doing a lot of other things too.
Right. And you'll definitely, if you keep up with the show, you'll be on top of what we're doing, and hopefully you can get in early while we still have a lower amount of votes, even though we're climbing up there. What are we at now? About 11.7 million?
Something like that.
Almost 12, yep.
Yeah. Somebody voted 3 million for us and then withdrew
Quickly
them.
took it away.
Yeah, within minutes.
Yeah.
It might have been somebody who just unstaked to move their tokens off, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because it's a 7-day waiting period. So if you vote, you're stuck for 7 days. So
either that or maybe they thought they were voting for Libby.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of confusion, and don't want to knock Libby. They did a great job with their voting dApp, but people continue to confuse our names. Don't confuse the O in Liobi, which is who you should vote for, because we're the number one on tier 1. We're the very first candidate listed, so it's kind of hard to ignore at this point, and it's your fault, really, if you vote for the wrong node now. So let's move on now to the second node listed on this. It is dApp Review. What do we know about dApp Review, Pete?
dApp Review is a site that's kind of like dApp.com and other kind of sites like that. It lists, I'll go here to a dappreview.com site. So you see, it's just a list of dApps, dApp statistics. They've included IOST, and great job by dApp Review there, giving us all the information we need about dApps, dApp trends, usage stats.
So huge contribution for the community there to keep up with what's going on with dApps is IOST adds more dApps. These are awesome tools to kind of keep track of the volume and how many tokens are being played through these dApps and really how popular they are. It's kind of like a ranking system. Is that correct? Is that what it looks like?
I think they were the first dApp site to add IOST, like major dApp listing site.
Right.
Because that was a big deal at the time. They kind of beat dApp.com to the punch there.
The first and the best dApp lister of IOST.
And they have a decent amount of information. You can go and you can see the balance of the accounts and the users and the volume and some charts. So very helpful contribution.
Moving right along on our list of top tier 1 contributors, I'm going to put these two together, Crypto Beatles and BitBoy Crypto. We know these guys from the community. They've been great content producers. Crypto Beatles has like the greatest voice.
Oh, he does. It's the first thing I noticed when I first started listening to him. And they both have an established audience already. They have been doing reviews on crypto for a long time, and so they have a lot of listeners. And it's really cool they've gotten into the IOST space. They're both a very different sound and a very different vibe, but they're both really cool. It's good to see them here listed in the top category with us.
Yeah, it's cool to get those big-time content contributors involved in the IOST ecosystem, bringing their audience over into the fold. And as far as BitBoy Crypto goes, I've actually been talking with him, DMing him a bit, and we're looking to do some sort of collaboration, maybe a giveaway on a live stream, something like that. So stay tuned. We'll be announcing that across all of our channels. Moving right along, it looks like the next one here is IOST World out of South Korea. This is an extension, as far as my knowledge. This is an extension of 100 and 100 Venture Capital, which has invested in quite a few projects since 2017, really heavy into the crypto space, Icon, Berm-chain, Gifto, Zilliqa, a bunch of projects here I'm reading from an IOST Foundation Medium article that came out back in January. But they got the contribution rewards for content because it seems like they're right now, they're the only Korean language-based resource for people out there who are interested in iOS, or at least they're the most prominent. So, and also another thing I want to mention here is actually a little bit of drama. They actually switched with Berminal. So when these rankings first came out for Tier 1, Berminal was in this spot, but there was a few days of appeals process, and it seems like IOST World has actually switched up into Tier 1 with Berminal moving down into Tier 2. So congratulations to IOST World. Berminal also a huge contributor, and I know, Pete, you've used Berminal in the past. You have it on your phone. Tell us about Berminal.
Yeah, I mean, Josh is a big user too. It was one of my biggest apps. Right now I'm kind of stuck in like a a KYC phase where I can't do much in the app.
That happens to you with a lot of different apps.
Yeah,
I feel like.
anything that's centralized doesn't like me for some reason. I don't know. They think I'm a bot. Am I a bot?
He's having an existential crisis right on the show.
Botkenstein. And so, but it's a great news aggregator. And of course, take all the news and headlines you kind of see in the space and any space with a grain of salt. I think, you got to do your own research because everybody can be wrong. But Berminal will just throw a bunch of news at you from about all sorts of cryptos. You can even earn Berm tokens right in the app as long as you're not locked in a KYC thing like I am. And you can vote bull or bear on articles. You can take little quizzes. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they do a really good job aggregating too. Like I want to see the news, and I'd have to go to a lot of different websites to get it all. But I feel like if I just go out to Berm, they do a good job of picking out the most important things. So if I just read through it in a day, I feel like I can hit pretty much any of the big topics that are in the news right now in crypto.
Well, that's good. And like I said, they've been around for a lot longer than the mainnet's been out. A lot longer relative to crypto time. Moving right along on our nice little graphic that I have put together for us, we've got Team Joy. And this is a dApp that's on the IOST platform. What do we know about the Team Joy platform? Pete, you gonna do a demo?
Yeah, let's go ahead and play it here. You go in a Token Pocket. If you don't have a Token Pocket wallet, you should get one. Not financial advice. And head down to IOST dApps under Discover right here. And there's a bunch of stuff. Some of these things we've played online. Well, here's IOST Joy. We're going to play this on the air really quick. You might have to drop the language down here and go from Chinese to English or to Chinese if you want to play in Chinese. It shows you a little summary of your resources that are available just to make sure you can play. I'm going to hit start here, and we will load in. Come on. There we go. This is going to kick into landscape mode, and I'm going to play a little fun game of Snake. And something I really appreciate that IOST Joy did here with Snake Joy, I think they call it, is that you can't start the game and then accidentally die within 3 seconds, like a lot of traditional Snake games where you don't know what's going on and you run into the wall, and you're, I just wasted, IOST or whatever.
So do you have to
as far
purchase
as
a token
as I can
play?
tell, you have to pay an amount of IOST. I don't know if there's a bet. I don't know. I don't know what the system is. Let's find out. So I'm going to switch to English up here.
It's got some awesome audio.
Yeah, there we go. Grooving out. We got Novice, General, Advanced, and Club. And it does say 550 and 500 IOST. It looks like I pay that. So let's see if there's a reward here. So I'm going to hit Novice. It asks me to sign. All right, we're loading. Here we are. I got a little D-pad on the left side. I'm picking up apples. There's green apples and red apples. I don't know if some hurt me and some don't. I just picked up a crown.
That was a positive sound.
Yeah, it was a crown. I just came out of nowhere and I ate it. So I don't know.
Worth 100,000 IOST.
Oh no. Oh wait, that's a turkey. It's not a crown. It's a turkey. All right, I'm gonna eat that turkey. So I'm getting this huge score, and I actually see an IOST amount accumulating in the top. Every time I eat a turkey, the IOST amount grows.
So how much IOST do you have now?
I have 2.7 IOST.
Wow,
and
so you can make money.
Oh, whoa, I almost ran into myself. That was that was close. I got really eager. Oh, there's another player. Can I eat the other player? If I run into him, am I done? I don't know. I don't know how that works. He's in a little bubble, so I assume that, I ate him. I got eaten.
So you ate the other guy, or he ate you?
Yeah, I mean, I looked like I ate one player, and then a little golden player ate me. It looks like if you eat the tail of another player, that's it. You get eaten. I earned 0 IOST. I don't know why.
But you were making IOST during the game.
Yeah, I was. And hang on here. There's a rocket button. I just want to know what it does really fast. I was going to hit it, and then these other little snakes came in and messed up my vibe. So, all right, so here we go. Rocket makes you go really fast. Yeah, it gives you a temporary boost. So anyway, yeah, this is a cool little game. I'm pretty sad that... Oh...
That didn't sound good.
I don't...
I like the sound effects.
Yeah, I do like the game, but I ran into somebody else, and it looked like we both died. So...
Did you butt heads?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll kill you in snake games.
Snake bit.
You've played multiplayer snake games before?
Yeah, it's kind of like...
So I have to eat their tail?
agar.io, like where you first start as a dot and you eat other dots that have to be smaller.
Yeah.
With the snake, you have to like encircle people.
So I realized that when I lost that first time, when I ate that first snake, the other snake started doing a little circle really fast. So he was probably like defending.
I think if you bump into the body of the snake at all, you lose. So the point of the game is to try and cut people off. And if you're longer snake, it's easier.
Oh, so I'm not trying to eat people.
No,
just to encircle them so they crash into you.
Yeah, you want them to crash into you.
All right.
Yeah,
all right, I gotcha.
So that's Team Joy. That's what's the name of the game, Pete?
Joy Snake.
So if you haven't had a chance to play that, there's a cool little demo for you. The next one on our list, moving down here, a couple big ones that everybody should be familiar with at this point. Endless Game. They were pretty much the very first dice roller. They accounted for a ton of volume early on in the system and onboarding people to come in and gamble. And if you haven't seen that, I think it was maybe episode 5 or 6 where Pete actually did a demo of that and lost a bunch of IOST because he has a gambling problem that we haven't addressed yet. Token Pocket is the next one on our list. Another big one that we've really kind of endorsed on this show. It's the mobile wallet. If you haven't seen that by now, please go back and watch our previous episodes.
We literally just used it to play Joy Snake, so yeah.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about Token Pocket, I think it was on our last episode, we talked about the ability to now get into these dApps through Token Pocket directly, rather than having to go and fuss around with iWallet and be on a desktop or whatever. Moving down the list, we have BISS. BISSEX is the account name. What do you guys think of BISS right now?
I mean, we sure have used a lot of BISS, right, for all the voting and getting things off the ground. So I think it's a good interface. Seems like they have their own exchange too, so you can move your tokens over onto that exchange off the voting portal. So yeah, I'm glad to see they made it here in the top tier. Seems like that's where they should be.
Yeah, they've definitely contributed a lot in this first kind of rollout of IOST and getting the voting things in order. One of the things a lot of the community members have had issues with is the $100 fee to withdraw from BISS.
You mean 100 IOST?
Or yeah, I'm sorry, 100 IOST. $100 would be crazy. But the 100 IOST withdrawal fee, and you have to have, I think, a minimum of 500 IOST on your account in order to withdraw from BISS. I've also seen multiple people, both admins in the Telegram and people who work for IOST, say that they're starting to move away from their collaboration with BISS and being so tightly interacting with them. So if you're not a fan of BISS, that can be some good news. I guess maybe IOST is trying to move in a different direction, but that's a little bit of inside knowledge from the inside IOST team here.
A really positive thing that BISS brought was the ability to easily vote. I know on other blockchains, like EOS, it wasn't easy to kind of get the voting off the ground, and they brought that to this ecosystem. So I think that in and of itself really is a good reason to put them here in tier 1. But we'll have to see moving forward if they still, like you were saying, if they kind of keep that close relationship or, kind of break away a little bit.
Plus, they gave us free Apple usufructs. If you remember that?
I had to look that word up in the dictionary.
You did look that word
up? Usufruct or whatever it is.
Yeah. And, I mean, I used to be a translator, and it's common to see people that speak another language, they find a word in the dictionary that they don't know is rarely used. Because you look in a dictionary, it doesn't say rarely used, right? So there are a bunch of words that people will use. And it was like collocation was one when I translated from Russian. People would use take a description and they'd call it a collocation. And I'm like, what is a collocation? It's like that. Somebody probably looked up the word for like this using an asset kind of a concept. They said usufruct, and that was it. Now it's their word. But yeah, so there was this whole thing. We're past that now. Did any of you claim your Apple assets?
I did not.
I didn't. I have no idea. I've seen people asking about it, but I didn't even want to deal with all that. So
yeah, I was pretty focused on just getting my voting done, so I really wasn't worried about that.
Yeah, I'm curious to know if anyone out there was able to claim that, though.
I have had people ask me directly, like, "Hey, can I get your Apple like usufruct referral code?" And I didn't even know how to get it. So whatever.
So
next up.
Oh, go ahead.
Next up is IOST ABC. Now, the ABC, this company actually has done other Explorers before. IOST ABC is not their first one.
Really? What were the other Explorers?
I don't remember. Was it EOS? I just found this out the other day that they had some experience with explorers. So I'll find that out for you later.
Yeah, and they kind of quickly took over as the premier explorer now.
Oh, it's so good. You look at it. We haven't done an explainer video yet, but any information you need really about IOST, what's going on, the producers, whatever, there it is for you.
All right, going to keep moving along here down the list of our tier 1 nodes. This is IOST Pacific, and these are the guys. Just doing some research on my own here. They first of all, they were on this list for events, meetups, and hackathons. They're the only one that made tier 1 for the events and meetups, which could leave some opportunity for events and meetups in the upcoming quarter. But they did some meetups, it looks like, for EOS last year, and they continued that with IOST this year in the small time frame that we had. I do believe they're based out of Hong Kong, so I could be wrong on that, but let's continue.
They put on ICAC, the Community Arbitration Council.
Right.
Is that the same one?
Yeah. When we get on that call with all the nodes, that most of our insiders probably haven't been inside one of those calls, but we'll definitely give you a report on the next one. It's like a council of nodes, and they're the ones who set that up and put that together.
And I'm actually looking forward to our next call. It's been a while since we've done one of those. It was like the last one we did was kind of introducing ourselves and what our plan was. So it'll be interesting to see now that we've done some work and tier 1's come out to, reconvene with everybody. So moving along, Sutler Ventures. We're familiar with these guys. What's Sutler Ventures all about?
Friends of ours and former colleagues. Good to see them on the tier 1 list for the work they've been doing in IOST.
Next up is Metanix, and I still am not 100% sure that that's how you pronounce it. Like maybe my Super Smash days are making me want to say Metanix.
Metanix? Could that be it?
Yeah.
I think it's Metanix.
Yeah, I think it's Metanix. But anyway, these guys, though mostly or wholly anonymous, I guess have really been a leading force, a driving force in the technical side of things. Like if you have a question about your node, how to find out information, how to set something up, what's going on with rewards. The information we got for our graphic on the new survey mechanics was directly from Metanix. They had to do a really good job keeping pace with what's going on in the technical side of things and keeping people informed. And
I got to say, we want to have Metanix on the show here. And I know they're anonymous, but
we could
always disguise their voice with backlighting and whatever.
I think that would be cool. I think we should do that. We can have a blurry object, or they can set themselves up in a dark room. I'm 100% down. Metanix, we want to get you on the show. If you want to come on, the welcome or the invitation's always on the table for you. And again, I endorse Metanix. If you had to vote for someone other than Leobi, they would be one that I would for sure take a look at. Moving right along, we've got our Chinese friends down here at the bottom. This first one is Fujing. What do we know about Fujing?
We didn't do much, but I went on their Weibo profile and used my Chinese translation skills with a little bit of help from Google to find out that they do investment and apparently mining and finance. They have an exchange in Canada that they're related to, SLB Exchange, and they have affiliates, Coin Capital. I don't know. They do. I don't really know. But it looks like they're involved with a lot of finance, exchange, investment kind of things in China, which they're one of the top producers as well. I think they're in 3rd place right now. So they do produce a lot of blocks for the network. If anyone else has any other information, maybe we can sick our internal Chinese-speaking
our analyst,
our analyst on finding out what Fujing does. And there's even more mystery to me about the next node.
Right, the next one, which I would pronounce this with my perfect Chinese, Xinjiang. And we try to find them. Couldn't find much about them out there.
We know they've been involved since early on. So they have relationships with the IOST team. And we will try to figure out what special things these nodes do soon.
And I want to say, too, if any of these, we tried to get some Chinese nodes and contributors from Asia on the show. And if anyone's interested in coming on the show, we'd love to have you. And I think we could provide translation for you if you wanted to come on the show.
Yeah, especially for Chinese and actually for Japanese now. We've got TJ, big shout out to you on Telegram. He's been helpful helping us create some messages. Ever System is the one that Pete and I got confused on and during last week's show. They've been doing a lot for the whole ecosystem, and I'm going to be reaching out to them. They're the ones that created Crypto Ninja.
Yeah, I think one of the only reasons that they're down in tier 4 or something is this was for March, and they really picked up their activity after. It's, you had to be an elected node doing things in March in order to be on this list. So even like IOST Callister, we mentioned last time, was elected in April. That's why they're not on the list yet, because it was not for this quarter.
All right. Moving right along into some of the news. We want to talk about this Berm airdrop. This is going to be kind of the first big airdrop on the IOST platform. I know when EOS first came out, everybody was thinking that airdrops were going to be like, the next big thing. Every time a token got dropped to you, it was like a way to create financing out of thin air sometimes. And some do still retain pretty good value. Some of them, flopped or use it just kind of as a marketing ploy. What we know about Berm, they are the protocol for both Berminal, which we spoke about earlier, and Bermi, which is this video application that's similar to, I guess, like a TikTok or like a Vine. And you can make the Bermi token through using that application. So what do we know about the airdrop?
Well, it's supposed to hit the IOST blockchain. So if you have a wallet on the blockchain, or if you're with one of the exchanges that support the airdrop, you should automatically be getting Berm. And according to the article, the longer you have that wallet, the better shape you'll be. So that'll be cool to get airdrops into our wallet. I remember getting airdrops, on EOS. Other wallets that I've held, Waves or, even Ethereum. It's really great having all these tokens come in.
EOS, Waves, even Ethereum.
The original, right? It's good having those tokens come in, and some of them, they could be successful. I view them all as startup projects, startup companies, and I think airdrops for those companies provide some marketing for them and helps them distribute their tokens so people will use it. And some of those may end up being successful, so why not, right? Good to have airdrops come in. And I think this one particularly, like they've built some great applications with a lot of users on it, so I'm excited to get some Berm in my IOST wallet.
Yeah, Bermi, the video app. Berminal was already a pretty large user base. Bermi, the video app, has become something like 3rd or 4th place on the Google Play Store in Mexico and is really picking up steam in South America. So that's an interesting development, and that's pretty high up there. I wish it was available on the iOS store in the US. It's not, so I can't get it. I don't know if you guys have tried it out on any other platform.
I tried getting it on the US store. It's not available on iOS, like you said, but I did notice on the Google Play, Bermi has over 1 million downloads, so that's a pretty significant amount of people. And
in the U.S. store or like globally?
I think it might have been globally on the Google Play store. I'm not sure how they show their statistics on there. Another thing while we're on the subject here, though, is this IOST and Berm protocol. They're taking flight with Project Pegasus. This article just came out a couple days ago, targeting 20 million users by the end of 2019, which seems like a lofty amount, but if you look at the amounts of users who have already downloaded Bermi, whether they're integrated into the IOST blockchain system or they even know they're using something that's crypto adjacent at all, 1 million users is awesome. So it'll be interesting to see if they can kind of reach that goal. 20 million is very lofty, though. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
That's a huge number, but it's good to aim high. And they've got great content, so why not?
And that doesn't necessarily mean we'll see 20 million IOST wallets. It depends on how they do. Maybe their solution will be custodial. They'll have some kind of virtual account system. I don't know how they're going to onboard everything right now. I assume that the token is going to be the IOST integration factor for right now. Like, it won't be like you're uploading videos to the IOST blockchain. At least not yet. But hey, we'll see.
And Bermi actually was in tier 3. So if we do end up seeing them bring all these users into the fold, then you might be able to, expect to see them in tier 1. I did want to ask you guys another question. I know we're probably going way over time right now, but what do you guys think is going to happen after all these people get their tier 1 contributions tomorrow or within the next 12 hours?
Oh, man. They'll immediately reinvest all of them back into the ecosystem.
That's the question, right? I mean, are people going to want to sell to fiat when they get these rewards and the price goes down, or are they going to want to hold? Personally, I think it's a great hold for the long term, but who knows what people will end up doing in the short term.
Right. Well, if you think about it this way, if you hold, you've got that more amount staked now. Whatever you make off your rewards, the contribution rewards, you stake that amount, and then if you can hold off until next quarter, you're going to make that much more if you're voting for a tier 1. So we'll see what happens with the price action. I know it's been a little bit on the downward slope as of late, but everybody in the IOST price channel is always freaking out and posting memes of fire and explosions, but
it's crypto. You got to expect a little volatility. It's doubled in the past month or two, right?
Right.
So it goes down a little bit. We're going to have this. You just got to expect it.
Yeah, for sure. So just a couple updates from Liobi. From one, our website, the calendar is coming soon. Do you guys have an update on that specifically that you want to talk about?
In development.
Yep.
In development.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
And then we just got over 100 people in our Telegram, so
fantastic.
Come join, be an insider.
Great conversation in our Telegram channel. I gotta tell you, we got a good group in our Telegram channel, and great conversation.
Yeah, we alternate between like Borat gifs and like humor in Dutch.
Yeah.
And like really deep technical IOST questions. That's basically it, right?
Yeah.
But it's a great place to come and ask, in a place where you're not going to get immediately flooded by bots that are pitching other things or whatever. People are going to answer your question there and give you straight up answers to whatever you need.
Yeah, I think it's been awesome to watch it grow and up over 100. I can imagine that's only going to accelerate from here. So anything else this week from you guys? Inside IOST episode 10 already.
I don't think so. I want to give a shout out to all of our voters for voting for us and putting us in tier 1. We wouldn't be there without you, so thank you.
All right, big shout out to our voters from myself, from Josh Bryant, from Peter K. This is Inside IOST, the #1 source for all of your info, news, and IOST happenings, and we will see you next week.